What's up guys, Phoenix here. This video is going to be another DevPro Duel video, and this time we're going to be exploring some pre-preparation of rights nonsense. Specifically, the deck that we're going to be playing today is Perfect Herald, or Herald Agents, or Herald of Perfection nonsense, or whatever you want to actually call this deck. Now, I had quite a few people that suggested for me to play this deck, and a few of them that sent me like the deck list, they either sent me the deck list or they just sent me the link to Doug Zeef's video. And so there'll be a link to that in the description if you want to see his actual like deck profile and like the minor explanation he gives on like certain card choices and stuff. But honestly, from what I've been playing around with this deck, don't like it very much. I'm really glad that I can't take credit for this because I don't think it's the best. But supposedly people said that it has a good Monarch matchup. I don't know off the top of my head if like this. It just doesn't seem like it would have a good Monarch matchup. It has some like potential like power plays. I can definitely see that. But ultimately, the main focus of the deck is Herald of Perfection. And Herald of Perfection is such a fragile card in today's Yu-Gi-Oh! Simply because, like, yes, you get to negate stuff, and, like, you'd think that, ooh, a Solemn, like, Judgment type card can't be bad, right? Well, the issue is that it's a Solemn Judgment that can actually be responded to with Chain Link 2 or higher effects. We have Solemn Strike in the format, and all of the cards that we have that we would, like, be really wanting to negate in the meta, like, in the form of, like, Cosmo Pilots and, like, powerful Monarch spells and traps, like, most of those cards are so readily replaceable and so easily like churnable that you end up like soaking up multiple negates on one card, it seems. And so ultimately, I don't think this deck is actually that great. But I mean, I played some games. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this because I'm not quite sure. But yeah, this is Doug Zeef's build. If you want to see his deck profile, there's a link in the description of this video. And other than that, like, I guess I don't really have anything else to say about this deck other than it's just the same old standard nonsense that's been Herald of Perfection trying to be playable. Like, Preparation of Rights definitely gives it a huge boost, but honestly, I just don't know if the deck is actually able to compete anymore, specifically because of how good card quality has become in the past couple of years. But anyway, that's enough explanation for that. I'm just going to jump straight into the first game. Alright, so first game against Monarchs. I decided I wanted to playtest against Monarchs specifically for this video because apparently that's the matchup this deck's supposed to be good against. Or so I've heard. So people have told me, so I've heard in the deck profile that I got this deck list from. Supposedly it's supposed to have a good Monarch matchup. So I'm like, alright, let's play against Monarchs. Let's see if that's actually real. So playing against extra deck Monarchs, and I open with a decent hand of Terra Top Manju plus Dawn of the Herald, plus a way to like make things live. And so the Terra Top can get Taki Tomborg and can turn into another negation in the form of Totem Bird, which is why that's in the list. Now, honestly, if you didn't have any other cards, you'd probably go for like Stardust Charge Warrior here, just to try and dig into another potential combo piece. But I get to summon Manju, search for Herald of Perfection, play Dawn of the Herald, ditching Shine Ball in the Manju to put Herald of Perfection on the board, and then add the Manju back off of Dawn of the Herald, and then I make the Totem Bird. So I end up with a overall -1, and I've got 2 negations. And so I hold the Heim of Light because I'm just like, you know what? I have to like make him think that I've got negations, but I'm still going to be playing into his board, where at the current point in time he resolves a Pantheism, resolves both effects, and you know that's not a card I can willingly negate right now. Maybe if I had like 1 or 2 more cards in my hand that were both fairies, then I could potentially, you know, negate these cards because I'd have extras. But I have to negate the cards that are going to be like doing things to me, i.e. Stormforth and Idea. So like at this point, I just like, he's got 7 cards and I've got 2 negates. It's just it's very, very bad for me all around. But I negate his Stormforth with Totem Bird after he searches off Pantheism, and then I negate his Idea normal summon with Herald. And at this point, I'm like, alright, if I draw a fairy, then we're potentially like in this, because I can just consistently go through a string of like negating like 1 card per turn and potentially doing something there. But I draw a Twin Twister, and I'm just like, well now, this is great. Now I have 0 negations. My board is wide open. He flips the Prime Monarch, and I just decide, you know what, this game is over. I've lost this game already, so I just decided to Twin Twister to the Prime Monarch. I don't want to start giving him more draws, and basically, like, the entire game is just over. I have no negations. I want to let him know that I have no negations, because at this point, I'm just like, this is terrible. This deck is literally not functioning in any sort of capacity to deal with any sort of meta deck, even if it's like something slow like Monarchs. Like, Monarchs is definitely the slower end of the spectrum. Even though it is Xyz Monarchs, like, it's still a slower deck, and there's not really a lot that I can do about the fact that I just don't have any negates. It's very much like an RNG type situation where I just didn't open like the best that I could possibly open. Like, that's the thing. I think this deck is just one of those things where you're just like, you have to open the best hand possible every single game, or else you're just gonna get like dicked on. But anyway, so he does some things where he summons a Mithra and then Stormforth's away my Herald of Perfection, which is something he was trying to do last turn. They tribute summons for either, gets his graveyard set up, gets another either in his hand, attacks over my entire board. I'm left with 0 cards. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do to establish, and I draw a Gem Knight Lazuli for turn, and I just go straight to that surrender button because holy shit. Really glad I cannot take credit for this deck because I don't think there's any like right or wrong like way that I played that turn. I think I played that turn the best that I could have played that first turn anyway. But so next game, I open up with like the goo, the Terra Top yet again. If I had Brilliant Fusion, this hand would have been really strong because I would have been able to normal summon Earth or Venus as well. And then I would have been able to like have done like double rank 2s and stuff like that. I would have been able to end with like Totem Bird, 2 rank 2s. One of them is Herald of Pure Light and Venus, and like the Christia could have potentially been alive as well. But so I just make Stardust Charge Warrior because I'm dedicated my normal summon to the red to the Triad dice, and I'm just trying to draw another combo piece, get myself closer to actually being into playable cards. And I draw Saphira. I draw the one of Saphira, the not right ritual monster. So like if I had drawn Herald of Perfection here, that actually would have been really good because I would have been able to, play Dawn of the Herald on the Stardust Charge Warrior, drop the Herald, and I have 3 negations, and that's actually a rather decent number. 3 negations is actually pretty good in terms of like what you're trying to do in the current game of Yu-Gi-Oh! I wouldn't be able to do anything with the Charge Warrior other than like shuffle it back into the extra deck, but like still I've got 3 negates. So he starts his turn off with specialing Red Layer, and then bringing back the Trap from Grave after Pantheism, doing some plays with Pantheism, getting a return, Stormforthing my Stardust Charge Warrior, tribute summoning for Majesty's Fiend, and I'm just like, oh god, now I have like no effects, my hand is all vanillas. Great. Absolutely great. So he can't overlay because of return, so there is that. So like there is that keeping me like from dealing with a bigger potential threat in the form of a monster. And so I draw Gem Knight Lazuli. I'm just like, I'm dying, this deck sucks, I'm dying. But, so I just set the Lazuli. I'm like, he's got a Majesty's Fiend up, so unless he tributes the Majesty's Fiend, which is good for me anyway, I don't see myself, like, dying the next turn. But he just ends up tributing his Trap, his Prime Monarch, to normal summon Karaz. Now, Karaz can't attack this turn, but he just uses it to get another body on board and get another return search. So he's basically just setting up his hand for literally everything that he wants, everything that he needs for days. Like, it doesn't even matter. Like, if he had summoned either over Majesty's Fiend, he probably just, well, not probably, more than likely just had game this turn. But still, I'm just like, I'm not doing anything, so he doesn't even feel threatened. Like, there's no threat to be had from my side of the board. But anyway, so I draw a Brilliant Fusion, and I play 2 Lazulis in the deck, so it is live. And so I'm like, alright, let's try and make an actual play out of this. Let's see if we can actually do something here. It's definitely not going to win me the game by any stretch of the imagination, but let's see if we can actually, like, do some plays. So I end up using the Brilliant Fusion here. I actually, like, well, I couldn't have even normal summoned, like, Venus and used it to first to, like, put Shine Balls in grave because of the fact that there's a Majesty's Fiend there. So I just have to Brilliant Fusion, summon the Seraph Knight. I summon it in attack mode because Dawn of the Herald is a card I literally just could ditch for free because it's doing nothing in my hand. I've literally got to, like, try and win this turn or I just lose. It's the very simple thing. So I summon my Seraph Knight, I normal summon my Earth, and then normal summon my Venus, and then I ditch Dawn of the Herald for Brilliant Fusion to make Seraph Knight huge. Before I realized that I just want to synchro away with it, so I literally just threw away a card for no reason. But it's Dawn of the Herald, so I didn't really care. Because I realized I can go into Clear Wing Synchro Dragon and attack over the Majesty's Fiend. So he brings back his Prime Monarch, which I'm just like, fine, whatever. So I attack over Clear Wing Synchro, or not Clear Wing Synchro. Fuck, man. I'm so triggered by the fact that this deck is terrible that it's making me like lose my train of thought. But anyway, I use Clear Wing Synchro Dragon to attack over the Majesty's Fiend, and the Venus is still up, so I'm able to go Venus, pay twice for 2 Shine Balls because I'm at 200 life. There is nothing else I can do. So I use Herald and detach, and at this point I've got 4 fairies in grave, so I add a Lazuli to my hand and then put it back into my deck, and then the Christia is live, so I special the Christia, and Christia gets to add back an Earth. And so it's like, neat, but I'm at 200 life. Like, I've made some cool plays. I put a Christia on the board. That's really cool. That's really neat. I've got Triad dice that can stop 1 attack, but can't stop 2. And so, like, all he has to do is attack over my Venus for game. Like, it's literally, yeah, I'm at 200 life. There's literally nothing I can do. Like, there's nothing I can do to actually win this game in any form or capacity. Like, the fact that I even hit him for any amount of life was, like, something that I thought was just amazing, because that's, like, the first time I was able to even do anything remotely offensive with this deck. But next game, I go first. I open double Twin Twister, Manju, Venus, and Earth. I have no idea why I keep opening Venus and Earth together, out of all things, but I use Manju, search Herald to perfection, set 2 Twin Twisters, pass my turn. Because I'm just like, I can't even open what the deck is trying to open. I think the deck probably needs Senjus in it. If anything, it's got a very low fairy count. So, like, triple Senju would probably be something that would be a really good added addition, because it would just allow you to have 1, extra negations if you don't summon them, but 2, allow you to access your ritual monsters a lot more quickly and effectively. But anyway, so he Stormforts away my Manju, normal summons Eidos, tributes for Erebus, sends Pantheism and Prime Monarch to his grave, and shuffles back one of my set Twin Twisters. I mean, they're completely bluff backers at this point, but he shuffles one back because he just, I don't know, I guess maybe feels like they might be something, but he uses Pantheism, reveals 3 Tenacity, I give him 1. Or did he reveal 3 Tenacity? I think he did. And then he just doesn't activate it and passes his turn. I guess he just wants to wait and see what he could potentially have. And so my turn, I draw Brilliant Fusion, and I'm like, alright, let's go. The best card in the deck, the only card that I get to use to make plays. Now, honestly, I snapped it down, but I probably should have actually just not. I should have probably just normal summoned Venus and gotten 2 Shine Balls out of the grave. And then, like, detached, like, or something, 2 Shine Balls, made Digestive Phoenix, detached. And then, I would have been able to have Brilliant Fusion, send Lazuli and a Shine Ball, and then added it back. But at this point, I'm just using this Brilliant Fusion to actually, like, search Master Hyperion. So I think my play was actually just a little bit better in this regard anyway. Well, actually, no, because the Lazuli still would have hit the graveyard. So even if I did send Hyperion and Lazuli, I would have still been able to add back a Shine Ball and make 2 rank 2s. So, I mean, that's my mistake. But honestly, I don't think it was that, like, impactful, because, like, the rank 2s this deck has is literally Herald of Pure Light and 2 Digesto Phoenix. That's literally the cards that are there. But, so, I summon Seraph Knight off Brilliant Fusion, I use my additional normal summon for Earth, searching a Venus, and then I go ahead and sync her up into Clearwing Synchro Dragon, because if he, like, has an Either in his hand, like, Clearwing can negate its effect on board when if he normal summons it during my turn, tributing his Erebus. And then that'll make Clearwing really big. So that was what I was going for here. So I normal summon the Venus, using my actual normal summon for turn, I pay 1,500, get 3 Shine Balls out of the deck, and I'm able to make Herald of Pure Light, and shuffle back that extra Venus and add back the Hyperion that I sent off of Brilliant Fusion. So I've searched Hyperion off of the Brilliant Fusion, and the Hyperion will be able to either force the Either to come out of the hand, or it'll just pop the Erebus and no harm, no foul. Now, I'm pretty sure that I know I don't have game this turn because of that Prime Monarch that's in the grave, but at this point, I'm just trying to make plays, because I'm just trying to show this deck can be cool, maybe, who knows, but, like, the plays aren't good. The plays aren't good enough to, like, do anything against the decks in this format. Like, it's really terrible. It's really sad. It's really sad that this is the current state of things. That, like, people think this has a good matchup, and, like, it's just, I literally cannot win a single game. It's just awful. And it literally triggered me so hard trying to record this, because I'm just like, come on now. People are saying that this deck's good. It's like, it was making me so upset. And it's even triggering me while I'm rewatching this. It's, like, making me cringe. But anyway, so he summons his Trap from Grave. I have to attack over it with Clearwing Synchro Dragon. Then I have to attack him with the rest of my stuff and put him to 3,100. And I'm like, yes, I'm actually winning in life for once in this entire recording session. Yo, we got there, fam. But so he starts his turn with Tenacity, revealing Erebus from his hand, adding Pantheism. Pantheism's been discarding another Tenacity, so he drew a Tenacity for turn. And this is just like, ooh, like, wow. I have to mute the shit out of this. But, alright. So, back to this. Not professional at all, because I really don't care, because this game is just so out of my control with this deck. But, so, he uses Pantheism, and does all of this stuff to search for cards. And I'm just checking my phone at this point in time, because I know there's a Stormfort that happens. He plays around Clearwing, because, honestly, I actually thought I was in a much better position when I was recording this. Because I thought the 2 big Monarchs, the Erebus and Either, I thought they were mandatory, like the rest of the Monarchs that have ever existed in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, I thought that they were mandatory. Like Mega Kai's, like all of the little Monarchs, like Caius, Mobius, all these were all mandatory when they were summoned. So I was like, okay, cool, and if he doesn't play around the Clearwing, then I just get to negate his thing and be huge. But it turns out they're not mandatory, and he can just summon Erebus after Stormforting away my Hyperion, and then he can just attack over my Herald of Pure Light. And now I draw Herald of Perfection, and like even if I still had like potentially done something else to like keep like a Dawn of the Herald or put a Dawn of the Herald in my hand, like there's nothing I could do. Like I just have to turn everything to defense mode and take it like a man. So he summons his trap, summons a Garnet, and that's when you know it's like done and dusted. And at this point, I draw Dawn of the Herald for turn, and I'm just like, nah, man, I cannot do anything. This deck is definitely not the secret weapon to take down the Monarch deck. If this is what you think it is, then it's definitely not. And I'm very, very upset with the fact that, like, it's just, like, the card quality is so much above and beyond what has ever been in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And, like, people are trying to cling to these older strategies like this that are very much, like, revolving around one-for-one, like, card interactions. And, like, they just don't work that well anymore. But I digress. I can only complain about this so much. It's just, that's the only thing that, like, I really don't like about the current point in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that card quality is so much better than it's ever been. And because of that, the game is a lot more of a different beast than it's ever been. And not a lot of people are willing to adjust to that. And so it's just kind of weird. It's kind of a weird point that we're in right now, where a lot of the older players can't really adjust to the new mindset of, like, all of these cards have amazing quality, and you can't rely on these older, like, gimmicky, like niche things like Herald of Perfection to really do that well. But anyway, that's basically it. That's enough of my rant on why the Herald of Perfection deck probably sucks. But other than that, if you want to see the deck profile from Doug Zeef, link is in the description. As I've already said, I'm really glad I can't take credit for this deck, because apparently it's supposed to be good against Monarchs, but I cannot win a single game against Monarchs. So there is that. But anyways, always, guys, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to all the nonsense you usually do. If you want to support me, clicking ads on my videos, disabling ad block when you view my videos is more than sufficient. It's the best way to support me, and it's the best way to motivate me to keep making videos. If you like seeing content from me, and I like making content from me, then supporting me in this way is the most guaranteed way to keep making sure that I continue to make content. But other than that, that's all for this video. I'm probably going to give this deck another try against Cosmos, maybe tweak it a bit and make it more, like, actually, like, decent, maybe. But other than that, as always, guys, take care. Oh, trigger warning over. Fuck.